dun, dun, dun,
that aren't.
dun, dun,
Dun, dun,
dun,
dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun.
ba-dum, ba-dum,
Dallas and Jeff were
ba-da-da-da-dum,
preacher's
bum,
sons, and when their
ba-da-ba-dum,
daddy would
bum, ba-dum,
visit, they'd come
bum,
along.
ba-da. Oh, he's got a whole da, 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 da,
There we
da,
go.
da. So
Okay.
sitting across from me today, across town, across Riga, Dallas, Taylor. Can I say your last name? I don't know.
Taylor. Yeah, that's right.
Is that all right if I say Dallas,
I
Taylor?
mean,
I don't
it's
know.
written. Yeah, that's right, man.
Yeah,
And
Dallas and Dallas is starting a new construction project this week, so we're all celebrating that.
mm-hmm. It, um, I do appreciate that. And this is Mr. Jeff Greenwald's sitting in the beautiful Gertrude's area of
Yeah.
Riga
Oh,
with
wow, just doxing me live on air. Cool.
well, it's more of that church, right? That central
Yeah, yeah,
church.
yeah,
Didn't mean to dox you like that though.
yeah.
But
All our screaming fans
yeah.
waiting outside.
Well,
Yeah, so
it is really
how are you on this? This is a Friday. This is an unusual, again, an emergency session. We're going to do a
yeah.
short one today.
Well, it's like a bookend, like where it's good to have a bookend to the week, and then the Sunday is kind of like that part where you're getting all the things ready from last week and going into
And we
next
can
week.
go in depth.
Mm-hmm.
Right now, we're
Exactly.
just going to do a little Minnesota. I like
Yeah,
to call it a Minnesota.
a Minnesota. Yeah,
Yeah,
Minnesota.
like, you
Nice.
know, yeah.
Yeah, I've just been sort of still sort of dealing with the loss of Tommy over the week and getting better and better, about that whole dynamic and sort of understanding that I basically tried to tame a wild cat and he was, going to
Now,
continue to
now,
live on.
did you try to tame the wild cat, or did the cat try to tame you, Dallas?
Well, it was definitely a little bit of a balance where he showed me insight into the wild, into the cat world, and into the world of animal communication with each other, and with just very strange things and happenings around all of that for sure.
Can I ask a personal question?
Yeah,
Was Tommy your first cat?
he was.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow, that's a huge deal.
yeah.
A man of a
hmm
certain age getting their first cat and then losing their
Mm.
first cat. All it's
Well,
like,
apparently it's something about, people around 40, guys around 45, they start getting cats or something like that. With some of them. Like I think it's like where the testosterone starts to taper off, the estrogen
uh,
starts to kick in a little
and
more with
the cat instinct, the
yeah.
catchable, the feline form becomes more of a natural. Like Mark Maron, yeah, he
Mhm.
collects cats. Always
Yeah.
talks about his cats.
Yeah.
So yeah,
And
sorry
well,
to hear
and the
that.
the thing is, like I think everyone should be aware of this. The vet, when the last time we went to the vet, they told us he looked at us very kind of seriously and he was like, the wild the outdoor cats will, like, they're very playful and they like to, go around and hunt and things like that, that the car tires trigger their instincts and they will jump at the cars and attack the cars.
Oh,
and and so enough owners have told them this, and the other people that are driving down the road are like, oh my gosh, like it just kind of jumped at me. And I really think that that was what was going on because he was so playful, he was so brave, and he was so like instinctual, but almost kind of in a little bit of a squirrely way too, where he was a little,
well, he's a kitten. He had the kitten instinct still. This,
yeah, yeah. And so
yeah,
it's like you you build them up and you give them that strength and you give them all of everything they need, and then and also he has a friend that's a bigger orange cat.
orange cat.
And Tommy would like always feel very brave, and so he would run out there and he like if he had you with him, he would feel like, oh, I can go do anything. And so he would run at the orange cat and like pound, like da 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 when the orange cat's like twice his size at least. Um, but yeah, there was like all of the security around my house is because of Tommy. The
Hmm.
story that I told in the previous episode about the people that were outside and I'm lurking and, just trying to freak them out a little bit by, lurking and if I had to manage myself, I would, but I didn't. But Tommy woke me up that night. This is like the first time he woke me up. And I saw it was like 3 in the morning, and go out there and I see these lights moving around, and I'm like, what's going on? And so he's on guard and he's standing at the window, my little battle cat. And then so I open the door and he just darts out, and I'm like, oh my, like I couldn't get out faster, fast enough and without him going through. And he's out there on him, and so I'm like creeping,
So he went after the intruders?
100%. Yeah,
Oh, wow.
yeah. And that's what I'm saying.
Like
Like
a
he was
watch
so
cat.
brave. Yeah, he was so brave, and and he was buzzing their feet. So like the whole time I'm sitting there just watching them, because frankly they couldn't have stolen anything off of the property. So I was a little bit just curious of what they were doing, and if
Hmm.
I ever and but anyway, yeah. So I'm out there and they were just messing around, and I could like tell that he was like, like buzzing their feet. And at one
Hmm.
point, I had no idea where he was, and it seemed like he had followed them off to another property where they were messing around. And and so I was just really freaked out that night that I was going to lose him then, and that they were going to hurt him. And knowing and just like the sense of how he doesn't really have the knowledge that he's also a sensor to,
Hmm.
so if there are bad people around, if there's something going on, like he told me he was a censor in that way, but
Hmm.
also he would be a censor if there were people that were wanting to hurt me or just wanting to be bad in general, right? Like people will start being bad to pets and animals first. Um, so it's
That's
like
a that's a
it's
good memory.
well, yeah, but and it's all, yeah. So like all of the security, like I locked everything down, started putting fences up, started watching everything. There was a giant hole in the neighbor's property that needed to
Yeah.
be dealt with. But yeah. So like all of that having to for him to have prompted every single piece of that is
Big
substantial.
deal. He's a
Yeah,
big
because
deal.
I mean, it was not just that night. It was I would go out and like it was, in the winter, the wind's blowing, the trees are out and stuff like that, and you can't really make out if you're seeing something or not. And then all of a sudden you see, five or six figures in black walking back and forth and moving all around, and you're like, this stuff needs
Hmm.
to stop.
Something's going down, yeah. So
Yeah.
what else is going on? I got uh the one thing that comforted me, and I don't know if this will bring comfort to anybody else out there, but so I've been obsessed with the everything going on in the news in the United States. I have this little comedy routine where I talk about American news versus Latvian news. And today I wake up and it's just another just nightmare of, just Comey getting indicted, and Hegseth is calling the generals together, and then this is happening, that's happening, and it's just like all this nonsense. And I watched, Michael Wolff.
Yeah.
He wrote, yeah. So he did a little Instagram reel, and he just explained. He said, with Trump at the UN and all these things he says, and you don't know, is it senility? Is he getting old? Does he have some master plan? And he told this story about this guy who's really close to Donald Trump at the time, and this is back in Trump's first presidency. And the guy leans in real close to Wolf, and he just says, "Don't you understand? He's an idiot. He doesn't know anything. He doesn't care about anything. He doesn't learn about anything. He has no interest in anything. He is just an idiot." And basically, he just says whatever comes to his mind, the last thing he saw on TV, the last thing someone told him, the last thing he heard, and that's what comes out of his mouth. And so, for years we had these people saying he's playing like five-dimensional chess and he's got these deep plans and all these. No, there's nothing there. It's just a vacuous, empty nonsense machine. And here's what I figured out today. You can tell me if I'm wrong. It's going to insult a lot of people. Hopefully, none of our listeners, obviously, none of people who watch this show would be in this category. But Trump is an idiot. And if the average IQ in the United States is 98, most people are there or below. Like if you look at a curve, they're going to be, most people are somewhere near there or below there. And so if you've got most of the population is as dumb or dumber than Trump, they see him as an aspirational figure. Like he's an idiot who's made $1 billion. Maybe I'm an idiot who can make $1 billion. And then they want to, they like that. It gives them this inspiration. It's not like, it's not a bad, what I'm saying, it's not a negative. So smart people see a dumb person in power as a negative thing. Like, oh shit, we've got this idiot in charge of things. But the dumb people see it as like, maybe I too could someday be ruler of all this, even
Hmm.
though me not so smart. And Trump said it himself, smart people don't like me. So
Hmm.
you can't compete with that when most of the population falls in that category. Sorry, I just that was the comfort I took this week from that little clip.
Yeah. Well, I've always said never underestimate the power of stupidity
Yeah,
because it is, and then I would also add to that, never underestimate the stupidity of the GOP, right?
but
Because
now I don't want
nothing
to go
they
there because
will
I
do.
don't think the GOP, the entire Republican Party, is made up of stupid people. I think there's some smart people
Oh,
in the
there's
GOP.
enough. There's
I think
enough. Yeah.
that's the thing
But
that scares
but
me is that Trump's not smart, but there are smart people behind him pulling strings, and they have some kind of a scary, fucked up plan that's gonna,
yeah, yeah.
But Trump himself is just
Yeah, but I guess it's like, yeah, because that I think that's obvious, like what you were saying about his intelligence level and about the senility and that stuff, like whether or not he is senile. Um, that to me is a little bit of a glaring red flag or red button that's blinking, right? Um, of that there's something much larger happening that is using him as that figurehead,
yeah.
and that's definitely I would never want to discount that as far as effectiveness and a level of sophistication and intelligence and things of that
Hmm.
nature.
Yeah.
And when it comes to like the idea of like family values or just taking care of your family and wanting everybody to be good and healthy and stuff like that, that type of stuff, I don't subscribe that to the GOP as a party, necessarily. I'm looking at the GOP over time and seeing the results and seeing what they're doing, just like I'm looking at the Democrats and seeing their results. How bad did they have to fail
Oh my gosh.
for Stephen Miller to be the president, de facto president right
Yeah.
now?
Wow,
That's
you just went there. You
insane.
just went there. You didn't even make that connection. You just went right to it. I didn't say it out loud, and you that puts you on a list. I don't know if that puts me on a list, but yeah, for sure.
Well, I
Um,
mean,
but yeah, the failure
I've
of the Democrats, we
I've
could
got
talk about that
several
maybe more on
reasons for that.
Sunday, but it's like because they fall for it every time. They fall for it. They get
Right.
sucked into these black holes of not like stuff that doesn't matter. I watched this great reel today. It was a guy dressed in blue, a guy and the same guy dressed in red, and they were arguing about something. And then there's a guy just counting money, watching them argue and very happy that they're arguing. And then they stop and they say, wait a minute, I love my family. I love my family too. I just want a house and a job and to live my life. That's what I want too. And then the
Exactly.
rich guy, the wealthy guy goes, yeah, but what about minorities? And then
Hmm.
or what about immigrants? And then they start arguing about immigration and he's like smiling and collecting more
Hmm.
money. And it's just like,
Yeah.
that's what it feels like. And we know that. We know that, but we
Hmm.
still fall for it over and over and over.
Well,
Like
I don't know what.
I grew up in a small town with all, like I said, all conservatives. Everybody was, I didn't know.
Hmm.
We went to church. We played football. We met on the street corner and we drank beer at parties. It's just you just
Hmm.
hang out with these people. They're just people getting
Hmm.
married, having kids, having their life.
Hmm.
And then somewhere in the last 30 years, it just turned into this bizarro, which side are you on? These litmus tests. We started with abortion, gay marriage, immigration,
Hmm.
trans stuff. It's just you create this boogeyman to make this, you hate them. Oh, race, of course, it's the first of
Oh,
the
100%. Yeah.
original American divider.
Yeah, like I see a lot of problems with, and I don't know if this is something, and I thought about this earlier today, how we talk about like we talk about binary things, right? So
Yeah,
male,
black and white.
female. Yeah.
Hmm.
So male, female is very binary. A lot of our politics is um, the left and right hemispheres of our brain. So
Well,
whether
no,
it's
yeah,
it's left and right politics, but that 1-2 only scenario is specifically designed in America by the forefathers to have the governing body to be the deliberative body to be basically the left and right hemispheres of the brain and like where they're really literally building a body of society. And it makes me think about it. And then like that computers have the binary code. So everything that we're doing that now to have
oh,
all
you
of this
think it
high def
connects somehow? Just
stuff
either
is
on,
only
off,
a, a
1, 0.
combination of these binary choices because there's this um, artist, Theo Jensen or something like that, where he makes these creatures that walk on the beach in there.
Oh,
And
yeah, I've seen it. Yeah,
yeah, I'll
yeah.
put an image up of that. Well, what he discovered and what he was able to physically show with trash off of the beach, plastic bottles and surgical tube and stuff and like PVC
Uh-huh.
poles and stuff like that. He was making these walking things that would walk down the beach, but from this binary thing of putting air into the water bottle and then it moving and it doing and it pushing it out. It had this binary part of it. But then when you added another one, he would call that a cheater or a liar.
Mm.
And so it would create the thing of where you could do something else and not just one or the other.
Hmm.
And that's a little complicated. But what I'm trying to
Just a
get
little.
the point that I'm trying to get to is that in all of this binary stuff that we have, that's the way our computers work now. But we know that these quantum computers work, and we know that we're going into a quantum age of where there's this in-between state.
No, but quantum still just the way they're going to use it is just on or off, spinning one way or the other. It's still binary. That's why it'll work for
No,
computers.
no, that's not the
Oh, we have to do
it's
a fact check.
no, I forget what it's
What
called,
what
but
what's
it's
our
like
fact
but
checker name? What was Jordan? I don't remember a fact checker's name.
um
Hey, could you look that up?
but the point I'm trying to get to though is that our brains are designed for prediction. Our brains are designed for these other states and stuff like that. The combination of that left and right hemisphere seems as close to an actual a better quantum computer than the ones that exist today and anything that even AI can create, right?
Well, of
So like
course, yeah.
even
Hopefully,
with all
hopefully.
of that and all of this neural
Yeah,
networks, they're not
yeah,
able to mimic the brain.
right.
So it's like we quantify this stuff, right? We
Yeah.
predict that if we predict as children the very basic thing of putting one step in front of the other and like knowing
Well,
like,
yeah,
oh, if I don't do that, I'm going to fall down.
yeah.
That's a prediction. So it's like we're limited by all of the stressors that are coming from these people that are basically oppressing and creating a repressive society across the board, and we're not
Based in
put.
binaries.
Well, what I'm saying is that it's limiting
Yeah.
our full potential of
Right, right,
where we
right.
can
That's
really
what I'm
do it.
saying. It's like, well,
And
and
so it could just
I
be
think
from
this is
economic
truly
stress. It would
but
affect
I think it's
everyone.
such an American issue though, too. That's the other thing about it. It's like I don't feel like Latvia is a binary. I don't You go out and you talk to people, you're going to get 20 different opinions about 20 different things. There's 20
Hmm.
political parties, there's people
Hmm.
all over the spectrum. And these people,
Lot of different understanding of history and a lot more
right,
depth of the
they
understanding.
might be religious on one hand, but then they might be this way on the other hand. They might
Hmm.
believe this about the genders, but they might believe this about this or guns or whatever. There isn't this checkbox kind of like in
Hmm.
the United States. There's much more of this feeling like you can go online and take a test and it tells you you're on this side or you're on this side, and there's this split where we have these things. We've created that. That's and this is
Hmm.
that thing that I got to the other day was that everything is a political choice, everything is created. None of these are natural systems. They can change. They're not. They're created by some force, and I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if it's us internally. We make these things. I feel like it's an oppressive outsider force creating them. Like I said, this the people with the money, they're using this to keep the wheels flowing or
It's the
whatever,
ones
because
that
it is a very
create the.
American thing. And that's why right now, like when Trump did this UN, this psychobabble at the UN, and then you hear I watched the Finnish president today give his speech.
Mm-hmm. It was
Other
good. I
people
listened to
are
that. Yeah.
tweeting about it and talking about it. And they're just saying, like, is he insane? Like, America, are you okay? They can't understand
Mm-hmm.
what's going on there. I think you and we can understand it still. Like,
I think it's
it's
simple as this.
insane,
I think it's simple as
but
this. You've got all of those concerts and all of those bars and all of those churches, right? And then and really then that starts to really start to break down if you look at it online as these little social media influencers or these groups of people who feel this particular way and all of these people in these
mhm.
churches. And then those people in the churches become also the people in the bars, right? And then also the people at the concerts. And also the people that are going to hold the jobs and have the jobs and
So,
stuff like that. And
well,
so all
this
of
is a
that
bigger
stuff.
question, though, dude. This is a bigger question because I don't think churches have all that the complete influence. I think it comes down to the
No, it's just blocks
families.
of
And
it's blocks of
let
voters,
me
right?
yeah, I'm not
They're,
talking voters. I'm just talking belief systems, like this binary belief system. So let me give you an example from here. I have a student, Russian speaking Latvian, and we were talking about what are we looking forward to coming up. And I said, well, November 18th, Latvian Independence Day is coming up. And she said, we don't really celebrate that. I said, but you're Latvian. Yeah, but we never celebrated in our family. So then we got to talking about this. And it's like she went to a Latvian school where every November 18th they would draw pictures of independent Latvian stuff and talk about it, learn about it, sing the songs, do all the things. But because this was not perpetuated in her home,
mm-hmm,
in her microcosm, the culture that she grew up in, this small culture, it didn't become internalized. It didn't become
mm-hmm,
something she believed in or something she kind of
yeah.
that sort of thing. So maybe the churches do have some impact on the family unit, but I think the family unit is ultimately where people get that. It like becomes this internalized culture, and
Mm-hmm,
it's so powerful. It's hard to break out of. I think you broke out of it a bit. I broke out of it a bit, but it took this really stretching away and moving away. But it's so powerful, and it just becomes this kind of re uh, what's the
cycle
just
or
yeah, the
mm-hmm,
cycle just keeps going and
yeah.
going and going,
Mm-hmm,
generation to generation, and just builds and builds. And you
yeah.
get these pockets of and you get these pockets of almost impenetrable, like, ruralness where it's all red. 99% of Nebraska, the small counties, vote
Mm-hmm,
Republican. They're red. All the churches are very conservative. All the bars where they
mm-hmm,
play the music are very conservative. It's the whole thing, and each family unit reinforces that to their children. When the children have their children, and the children have their children, and unless they leave, go away, get out of that, it's going to stay that way. There's nothing.
mm-hmm.
I don't even know like what it would take to shift that at
Well,
this point.
what I've heard, like we're talking about some things on several different levels because the way
So
that,
yeah, this has got way too deep. I want to do a short quickie. I know we're in this
yeah, we were
weeds.
supposed to do a weekly roundup bookend. Um,
Yeah.
but like the way that the church would operate on the highest level is different than what it would be, what the effects of each individual family would be, right? Um, but like it's just really interesting that you're going here because there, as far as the Russian population specifically, I just with our construction project, I'm interacting with Russians, and
Hmm.
I just 20 minutes ago or so had a conversation with a 60-year-old plus Russian man who was explaining to me that he's an alien here, and that his mother was from Siberia, his father was from Belarus, and
Wow.
he was part
Yeah.
of the Soviet army, or
Hmm.
he was brought in, and that like this idea where what I'm seeing across the board is that they're in Latvia that we're seeing a little bit of a bolster to try to have some of that ice roundup energy. They're wanting to see some of that
Oh, I saw
go
this.
on.
Yeah, I saw
When
this. The
it's a little
migrants.
bit ridiculous because everything is so tightly controlled that
But this is a whole new topic, dude.
you would know exactly where
Save
to
it for
go to
Sunday.
get them, I guess is what I'm trying to say. But no, but like for the acceptance, it is a different topic for sure. But like because
Yeah,
you mentioned the Russians and Latvia with
yeah,
the disconnect between that and that, a lot of Europe deals with this with the ethnicity issue of being totally
right.
attached to the name of the country, being
Yeah,
this is my country, this is me, this
yeah,
is my
yeah,
ethnicity, and that being the where like that meeting the legal structure and like meeting the economy and and things like
yeah.
that
Always
doesn't
comes down to the economy. Yeah.
doesn't always add up. But
Well, I tell you what, Dallas. It's
for
Friday, and I got a Friday 5 o'clock to get to.
okay, well,
A beer
for to
o'clock. So
let me finish this thought. The idea would be for there's something that needs to fundamentally change where there's some sort of where everyone that's in the country is some sort of reservist, where it's not, there's no question of whether they would defend the country or not in the case of an emergency and if they needed
oh,
to
see,
be.
this is a big topic, dude. This is
It
a
is,
huge
but I'm
topic.
saying like
Yeah.
that's what I feel like is the solution based on everything that I've seen here is that like when it comes to delivery drivers, they're not getting paid enough so that there could be problems and there it's like
If it
uh
came down to it, if it came down to
it
it,
attracts
this
poorer
is I want you to
people.
put a pin in this
These
because this
delivery drivers are an absolute force, man. I'm telling you.
pin, put a pin.
Yes, we'll get
You
back
got
to
a
that.
pin?
We'll get back to
Okay,
that.
put a pin in it. I want to say happy Friday. I'm
Yes,
with you in
yeah,
your grief,
absolutely. And if you got
and
a
and
5 o'clock, we'll get out of here.
and we'll
I'm
get out of
waiting
here.
for our timer to start telling me I'm done in 10
No,
minutes.
no, I got to get
But if
out,
you
and
need to
we'll
go,
pick it
yeah,
up
yeah,
on
yeah, let's go.
Sunday. We'll do a full length,
Yeah,
full version. We'll
absolutely,
come back to
absolutely.
this.
Yeah,
Promise.
we'll have Sunday morning service.
All right.
All
And
right.
you got plans for the weekend?
I do. I think I'm gonna go to